Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, no excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Still timing and placing multiple rounds of some showers and thunderstorms that could impact the state. Generally, the northern half of West Virginia, we have a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. That means isolated, and in this case, damaging winds. So isolated damaging winds will be possible with any passing storms today. A couple of potential rounds. There's a slight chance of a shower and storm late in the morning near midday and one later in the afternoon through the evening hours coming in from the west. Potentially, I'll be keeping eyes on the radar if they pop and work east. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Many of these cities here are warmer than average. Some areas flirting with some record high temperatures here. From Panhandle to Panhandle, again, northern West Virginia, be mindful of that chance of showers and storms, isolated severe weather, and warm with increasing humidity. Highs in the low to mid 80s today and lows in the mid to upper 60s overnight tonight. We're approaching some records here through the week with potentially some areas tying or breaking some record highs and warm lows. Highs range from 77 to 86 in our eastern areas with that isolated risk of severe thunderstorms. Very warm tonight, mid 60s for lows. In areas of central West Virginia here, low to mid 80s today. Very warm, humid, and lows tonight in the 60s with that chance of a shower or thunderstorm. And to the south, a lesser chance, but I'll watch a slight chance of showers and storms as we heat up above average as well. Highs in the 70s to mid 80s and lows in the mid 50s to mid 60s tonight. Charleston looking ahead for the next 7 days. 90 tomorrow, dry. Forecasting a daily record high tomorrow. Chance of showers and storms late Thursday night, tying a record high potentially on Saturday near 90. Then a sweeping cold front by Saturday night. Showers, storms, highs in the 60s for Sunday and again on Monday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
We've got a loaded show today. We'll talk local politics. We'll talk national politics. We'll talk foreign policy. We'll cover it all over the next 2 hours. It's MetroNews Talkline, and we are underway.
Attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome into the program. Metro News Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson of Morgantown. TJ Meadows is in Charleston. Gang's all here. Sophia Wasick. Or is it Ethan Collins today? It's one of the two. Maybe both of them. Running the audio side of things on our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. Jake Link, I know for a fact, is handling the video stream if you're watching on the Metro News television app or Facebook Live and YouTube. Available as well. Lots to get to today. Coming up on the program, Jason Pizatella will stop by with the Contractors Association. He'll weigh in on a proposed gas tax holiday. Jonathan Savage with the latest on the Trump holy war. Jeff Jenkins, Jared Halpern. Rio Phillips, Democrat for U.S. Senate, will join us coming up in the second hour as well. Say good morning to TJ Meadows in Charleston. Morning, TJ Meadows in Charleston.
Morning. Good morning, sir. Lower third on News Nation, Dave. Trump, Iran would like to work a deal, end quote. We'll see.
We will get more when Jared Halpern joins us in a little bit. Also, we're going to get into the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Michael Smith joins us at 11:06. Yesterday, we told you toward the end of the program about another lawsuit that has been filed in regards to the Greenbrier Resort. U.S. Senator Jim Justice and his family are punching back in the battle for control over the Greenbrier. The family ownership group has filed a local lawsuit in Greenbrier Circuit Court against longtime lenders Carter Bank and Trust and TRT Holdings, the parent company of Omni Hotels. The complaint alleges that Carter Bank and Trust and TRT Holdings are attempting to snatch the Greenbrier Resort from the local ownership of the Justice family by unlawful and deceptive means. MetroNews statewide correspondent and quickly becoming our legal correspondent, Brad McElhinny, joins us on MetroNews Talkline with the latest. Brad, good morning. What does this lawsuit from the Justice family businesses allege in this ongoing battle?
Well, as they say on Battlestar Galactica, all of this has happened before, and all of this will happen again. So the justices have been in cycles of financial conflict, mostly with their longtime lender, the regional bank, Carter Bank and Trust. And typically that goes this way. Carter makes some financial move to try to auction off the Greenbrier or to try to sell the assets, to try to sell the debt to somebody else. Everything winds up in court. Typically the justices countersue, and then eventually something else happens to make it go away for a couple years. We are now at the phase of this where TRT Holdings, the parent company of Omni Hotels and Resorts, filed a federal lawsuit late last week, essentially saying that the justices are in a default posture on roughly $300 million in loans, and they are asking the federal judge, Judge Frank Volk, to put the Greenbrier into receivership, a neutral third party to reliably and faithfully run the property. Surprise, the justices have now countersued as of late Sunday night locally. I think it's worth mentioning locally in Greenbrier County. And they say that the reason is that's where the property is located. That's where many of the justices, including Jim, live. And they cite about 3 different ways that the parties in this case that they feel have betrayed them. One of them is recent and very interesting. I will say that this document, which is about 21 pages, is among the most detailed of its kind that I've seen up to now. And this brings you right in the room last week when Jim Justice at the Greenbrier was talking to the Texas billionaire Robert Rowling about what they're going to do. Could they work out a deal? Could they run the Greenbrier together? And it says, again, the narrator here is Jim Justice. So you got to factor in the wind speed, how much you, the listener, are believing what Jim Justice says. But I think it's believable that they did meet. It says that Robert and his son Blake Rowling, plus the CEO of TRT, traveled to the Greenbrier to meet with Jim Justice, who said for 10 years that he did not run the Greenbrier. During the meeting, Blake Rowling, again, the son who has more direct management of TRT Holdings and Omni, said the TRT wanted to find a way to work cooperatively with the Greenbrier and the Justice family. They started talking about how they could do that under one possibility. According to Jim Justice's version of events, TRT and its affiliates would forgive $200 million of the loans, and TRT would receive a 50% ownership interest in the Greenbrier. So 50% of actually running the resort. A joint venture, according to this possibility, would be formed with TRT acting as the general manager and managing the resort's operations, while the Justice family, according to the version of events by the Justice family, would retain a significant role at the resort. Jim Justice, according to this filing, says that he agreed to doing that. They went to lunch. One thing where I think this narrative falls short is they don't tell me what was for lunch and if they were in separate rooms or the same room or what. I'd like that detail. TRT comes back and, according to Justice, committed to filing a written term sheet 2 days later, April 8th. However, April 7th, this was just last week. According to Justice, TRT reversed course and reneged on the offer via email, got ghosted without further discussion. Has that ever happened in either of your romantic lives? Email was not around, but it would have for me. After that, the Justice family made a quick turnaround to try to pay the loans in full. Who knew they had that kind of available cash? But instead, TRT issued a notice of default on April 9th, filed the federal lawsuit. The justices countered with their local lawsuit as of Monday. A lot of drama very quickly. And again, the chief narrator here in what I just told you is Jim Justice, and you should adjust for the wind speed.
Let's try to break this down a bit, Brad. As I read through that document yesterday, I agree it's fascinating. It's one of the most telling documents that we've ever seen when it comes to justice business dealings. With that said, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't see anything in the filing that had to do with breach of contract. So this whole idea that we sat down, an offer was made, I accepted it, there was consideration, that $200 million in paid-off loan value. You would think that breach of contract would be in there, being, put your caveman lawyer hat on, as you say. I didn't see that unless I missed it. There's no term sheet. Nobody signed anything. So maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't see what the justices are standing on, unless that was an oral contract and they think West Virginia law would provide for that.
I mean, they're claiming fraud, breach of contract, and
they are claiming breach. Okay, so my bad. Sorry.
They're claiming that, but give them time. I will say, in comparison, the federal lawsuit filed by TRT was ready to roll, and they have entered supporting documents. Like one bit of the supporting document is heavily detailed, 90 pages of financial information sitting there in the federal court filing. In comparison, the justices are making claims in this 21-page filing. I think they probably put it together in a hurry. It's possible this will all come, but it doesn't provide that kind of written documentation. I mean, if there was a term sheet provided to them, presumably that was in writing, but otherwise it's in the room where it happened. Brad, TJ, and Dave were not there, nor were other members of the public. So at this point, we've got to rely on this Jim Justice narrative. I think if it goes forward, if there really is discovery in court, whether it's local or federal, that's the kind of information that might come up. The other outstanding question here, I think, besides what was for lunch, which I would like to know, is why did TRT turn on a dime according to this? Why say, all right, we'll get you the final deal in 2 days, and then the next day, did they uncover something? I mean, did they have regrets? Did they talk to their own lawyers who said, oh, have you seen the history of this debt here? I wonder what happened that caused the deal to break off, but that's also not clear to me.
Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny with us on Metro News Talkline. Brad, how does this track in previous business troubles for the Justice Administration as far as dealing with lawsuits and debts that it has dealt with in the past?
They are not afraid to go to court, and they've done it over and over. Carter Bank has been on both ends of these conflicts in court over the years. I think maybe they thought they were free and clear. They'd sold the debt. It was another person's problem. TRT Holdings. Carter is now back in it. What typically has happened is, here are a couple paths. Sometimes you see lawsuits dismissed as a matter of process. You filed in the wrong place. You've sued the wrong person. I think that may be the first round of questions is, do you have standing? But the other thing that happens is filing a lawsuit or being on the other end of a lawsuit is a kind of leverage. And sometimes the justices have miraculously found some other source of funding. It's possible that there could be a white knight that comes out of the woods and says, here's $300 million. You can owe us now. That's a possibility here. The other is, that this could be leveraged, used in its own sense for each side to try to gain some advantage over the other as they, continue potentially to try to work out a 60-40 agreement, or to try to define better what the lending arrangement would be, how much you owe us each month, how much control we have of the property. I think it's possible that this winds up being used that way itself, and potentially never reaches the point of having a clear-cut ruling by either the local circuit court or the federal court.
100% agree. I think it's leverage. I think it's negotiation toward a better price. I also think, given what I read about Robert Rowling, 50% interest would not be controlling, right? Unless he's given that control. That doesn't gel with what I've read about his enterprise and the other opportunities that he's bought, acquired, taken over. He wants complete control because that's how he gets quality. I also think Senator Justice is not a guy who wants to be a minority owner. So this is a way, potentially, I agree with your read, Brad, to negotiate some kind of deal where someone ends up at least, 51-49, 60-40, that kind of thing, clearly in control, no questions asked. You're along for the ride, but I'm the one running the show kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. To me, personalities come to bear. That makes a lot of sense under, normal, clear thinking, straightforward thinking circumstances. Jim Justice's, my read is Jim Justice's political persona is wrapped up in being the Greenbrier owner. The two things that he really has going for him are the Greenbrier and the dog that people love. He saved the Greenbrier. That's what people say. But also, I think he thinks of himself as a chief executive. He takes great pride in owning the historic property. From TRT's point of view, aside from, the X's and O's and the balance sheets, what do you wind up dealing with in terms of a partner here? He's a U.S. senator with a healthy ego, and I think it, potentially could be a challenge if you wind up in a split that's unclear.
MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. You can read the latest developments in Brad's story over at the website. It's our lead story this morning, WVMetroNews.com. Brad, appreciate it as always. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks. We'll figure it out at some point.
Coming up, Jonathan Savage will join us, Fox News Radio, the latest on the Trump holy war, if you will. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. At WVU Medicine's Heart and Vascular Institute, we offer everything from routine checkups to advanced treatments, helping you manage heart disease, high blood pressure, and more with personalized care. For more information, visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Welcome back, class of 2011. Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it.
Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life.
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage joining us. President Trump over the weekend, of course, got into a fired off truth socials, tweets, whatever. He posted on social media, got into a spat with the Pope. Then there was the meme of him dressed up as a doctor, using air quotes for those listening out in radio land this morning. Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage joins us. Jonathan, what's been the fallout from the social media posts the last couple of days?
Yeah, it's not often that a president picks a fight with a pope, and when they do disagree, they tend to do it perhaps a little bit more on a low-key level than what we have seen. And this spat has so far dominated Pope Leo's 10-day tour of Africa, something which I'm sure he is regretting, because this is a trip which means a lot to him. He's actually today in Algeria, following the footsteps of the person he described as his spiritual father, St. Augustine. But he was asked on the plane about his spat with President Trump. He said, "I have no fear." When asked if he worried about the effects of this dispute, he said, "I will continue to speak out loudly against war. Too many innocent people are being killed. There is a better way." And he went further by, in his speech, referring to what he called continuous violations of international law and neo-colonial tendencies in that speech in Algeria yesterday. What we've also seen is reaction from one significant politician, the Prime Minister of Italy. There is no country closer to the Vatican than Italy, either physically, because, of course, the Vatican's inside Italy, or spiritually, politically, in terms of sentiment. This enormously Catholic country, which has very strong ties, as you would expect, with the Vatican. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is usually an ally of President Trump, but she's called his attack unacceptable.
Jonathan, how, if at all, does this all spill over into the situation with Iran? How do the politics of one situation affect the politics of the other?
I think what Pope Leo would say is that he has a duty as a spiritual leader to provide moral guidance in line with the teachings of Jesus, and he will say that it is what he is doing. He's not a politician, but people look to him for leadership, especially when it comes to the major questions of the world. And Operation Epic Fury, the conflict in Iran, is one of those major questions, and he is expected to chime in. Now, popes don't often mention politicians directly. They don't often mention specific conflicts explicitly. And I think Pope Leo has followed that path. He doesn't really use the word Iran. He doesn't say President Trump's name, but there's no doubt what he means when he makes references to people who, in his words, use the name of Jesus to justify war, and then quoting from Scripture, even though you make many prayers, I will not listen, your hands are full of blood. So this is an area where the teachings of the Catholic Church and the wider world, geopolitics and warfare, all merge into one, and they don't exist very, very comfortably.
Hey, Jonathan, I want to ask you a possibly loaded question, leave you about 20 seconds. Not the first time, though, that the papacy and a secular ruler, governor, whatever you want to call them, have clashed in the course of hundreds of years, though.
Absolutely not. President Trump clashed with Pope Francis over immigration. Even George W. Bush clashed with Pope John Paul II on the Iraq War. The difference, though, is that the disagreement this time seems to be far more personal.
As it usually is when it comes to President Trump. Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage. Thank you for the update, Jonathan. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up, gas tax holiday. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. Montague County School Superintendent Eddie Campbell says the electric-powered buses from Green Power.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, no excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Still timing and placing multiple rounds of some showers and thunderstorms that could impact the state. Generally, the northern half of West Virginia, we have a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. That means isolated, and in this case, damaging winds. So isolated damaging winds will be possible with any passing storms today. A couple of potential rounds. There's a slight chance of a shower and storm late in the morning near midday and one later in the afternoon through the evening hours coming in from the west. Potentially, I'll be keeping eyes on the radar if they pop and work east. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Many of these cities here are warmer than average. Some areas flirting with some record high temperatures here. From Panhandle to Panhandle, again, northern West Virginia, be mindful of that chance of showers and storms, isolated severe weather, and warm with increasing humidity. Highs in the low to mid 80s today and lows in the mid to upper 60s overnight tonight. We're approaching some records here through the week with potentially some areas tying or breaking some record highs and warm lows. Highs range from 77 to 86 in our eastern areas with that isolated risk of severe thunderstorms. Very warm tonight, mid 60s for lows. In areas of central West Virginia here, low to mid 80s today. Very warm, humid, and lows tonight in the 60s with that chance of a shower or thunderstorm. And to the south, a lesser chance, but I'll watch a slight chance of showers and storms as we heat up above average as well. Highs in the 70s to mid 80s and lows in the mid 50s to mid 60s tonight. Charleston looking ahead for the next 7 days. 90 tomorrow, dry. Forecasting a daily record high tomorrow. Chance of showers and storms late Thursday night, tying a record high potentially on Saturday near 90. Then a sweeping cold front by Saturday night. Showers, storms, highs in the 60s for Sunday and again on Monday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
Jeff will join us coming up next segment. Rio Phillips, Democrat, running for United States Senate, or the Democrat Party nomination for the United States Senate, will join us in the second hour. Last week, we talked to Montague County Delegate John Williams, of course, part of the Democrat caucus in the House of Delegates, that has proposed or requested the governor call a special session to suspend the state gas tax to give motorists some relief at the pump with the ongoing surge in oil prices with the war going on in Iran. Jason Pizatella is the CEO of Contractors Association of West Virginia. He has penned an op-ed. You go a couple of paragraphs in. He says, quite simply, suspending the gas tax is a short-term fix that creates long-term problems. At first glance, the idea of suspending the gas tax sounds appealing. Families are feeling the strain, but as proposals circulate from both members of the Freedom Caucus on the right and the Democratic legislators on the left to temporarily pause the tax, we must take a step back and consider the long-term consequences of such a decision. Jason joins us in the Charleston Encova Insurance Studios this morning. Good morning, Jason. Glad you could stop by.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me on the show again.
So, long-term consequences. What could be long-term consequences of a gas sales tax holiday?
It's one of the fairest taxes we have. It's a consumption tax. It's based on the amount of gasoline that you buy. The more you travel, the more you pay. We as a state just concluded a regular legislative session that, from the construction industry's perspective, was one of the most productive sessions over the last 4 or 5 years. Not the least of which was because the legislature, in a very bipartisan way, decided that after the winter we just endured, to add an additional $125 million from the general fund into the state's paving program for this spring and this summer. And all of our road initiatives, whether it's roads, bridges, slips, slides, road plowing, things of that nature, grass cutting, canopy clearing, all of that is paid for by the road fund. And without the motor fuel excise tax, or the gas tax for short, we don't have a road fund. And so I think after the legislature took some tremendous steps this year to boost that fund, I think dealing with a suspension of the tax would be a step in the wrong direction.
Jason, is this problem going to solve itself anyway? I look at the forward-looking curve on oil in the futures market. It's down. It's coming down. And the market is telling us this thing's going to be over. It's not going to be as big as what we think. Wouldn't that be proper to heed that advice? If we know the price of oil is going to be lower, and that's what the market is telling us, I don't know that we have to rush into this. Is that a fair argument?
I think that's fair. TJ. West Virginia, the last time our motor fuel excise tax was raised was in 2017 during the Roads Prosperity Act. Mm-hmm. And we all know that there were billions of dollars in road and bridge improvements that came from that legislative action. And as far as where we are in surrounding states, I've heard Governor Morrissey talk a lot about, and the administration talk about, the backyard brawl, the states around us. And West Virginia already has one of the lowest gas taxes around us, Kentucky being the only one that's lower. We as a state, the state of West Virginia, maintain more miles of roadway than any other state per capita in the United States. And motor fuel excise taxes are what allow those investments to occur. And not only do they, I would say most importantly, they make the road surface and bridges safe and convenient for the traveling public, but it also puts over 15,000 construction workers to work, making sure that work is done for the traveling public, and all of that is supported by the road fund.
Jason Pizatella is joining us, CEO of Contractors Association of West Virginia. Jason, I think the Democrats' proposal was suspend the gas tax. There was a threshold in which the suspension to temporarily suspend that tax would kick in, but any revenue lost would be backfilled with rainy day funds or surplus funds. Why would that not cover the cost you're talking about associated with road repairs, contractor payments, et cetera?
It's still a short-term solution, Dave. I think it's one of those things where, I get it. We're in an election year. All of our neighbors and friends have burdens, as I write about in my editorial piece, that ought to be looked at and ought to be solved. But I think the administration and the legislature have made a very clear choice over the years that using the rainy day fund for political purposes or using the rainy day fund for purposes outside of a rainy day is something that is risky and is problematic. We have a very well established tax in West Virginia, as I said, is one of the lowest, or if other than Kentucky, is the lowest in the region, and it supports investments in our state's infrastructure that we need, and the construction workers that I represent are the ones that are out there doing the work. But it also keeps the state Division of Highways and their workers employed so that they can continue to do what the voters of West Virginia asked them to do and the traveling public asked them to do. So the short answer to your question, Dave, is I think it's still a temporary solution, and I think the risk far outweighs the reward for going down a road like that. No pun intended.
So when you drive into West Virginia, it takes a while to traverse this state on the interstates. You're going to be in West Virginia for a while when you come in from a bordering state and you're traveling through. Jason, that translates to a lot of summer travelers, a lot of Class 8 semi-traffic, stopping at some point to buy gas. They are giving us their money to help with our roads. That needs to be part of this conversation, and I'm yet to see any kind of figures that say, here's how much of that we would give up.
Yeah, it's a good point, TJ, and it's one that I left out in my in my piece, but you make a really good point there, and it's the same argument goes for the tolls on the West Virginia Turnpike, right? Over 73% of them are paid by out-of-state drivers, and we have that argument. We, being the industry, have the argument on an annual basis with the legislature about the wisdom of tolls on the Turnpike, but I think it also applies to motor fuel taxes that are paid for by out-of-state drivers. Of course, not quite 73%, of course, like you would on the Turnpike, where most of the travelers are out-of-state.
Sure.
But definitely a point that's worth raising, and I'm glad you raised it.
Since you're here, Jason, your membership, obviously contractors all over the state, are they out on the roads? It's starting to warm up. It's feeling like road work season already.
Yeah, it sure is, Dave. I mean, as I understand it, all of the asphalt plants are functioning and active right now, and we're willing to produce and sell as much asphalt as our customers ask us to produce. And if you ask any average West Virginian who drives, they're going to say, "Hey, we need more of it." And funding sources like the motor fuel excise tax are what make that happen, and what makes our highway system something that West Virginians can be proud of.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at the numbers. Look, I've had to replace 2 tires this year alone for potholes. The gas savings doesn't come anywhere close to what that would, and I think a lot of West Virginians are in that boat. Talking about safety, what do we need to do? What's the best thing motorists can do when they're out on the highways to make sure these hardworking guys and gals stay safe during this road construction season?
Pay attention.
Yeah.
Follow the posted speed limit. Allow that text or tweet or Facebook message or open table reservation to wait until later. It's something that, and I'm glad you mentioned that, TJ, because April is Work Zone Safety Month across the United States. I understand that the state DOH and our contractor partners are having an event later this month to celebrate Work Zone Safety Month, to bring attention to what you just asked me, and that is, this is where these men and women work, and they deserve to do it safely. And the legislature, for the first time earlier this year, since 1994, raised the fines for driving, for exceeding the posted speed limit and for driving distracted in a work zone when workers are physically present.
Good. What did they raise it to? Do you know off the top of your head?
For first offenses, they raised it to $250, up from $100. Second offense up to $500, up from $250, and the third offense is $1,000. And is it the magic bullet that we need to save lives? No, it's not magic, but it's very important to the industry that people understand that when workers are physically present doing their jobs, that they should obey the posted speed limit, and that there are fines if they don't.
Jason Pizatella, CEO of the Contractors Association of West Virginia. Jason, I can't let you go without just letting you know, and Mr. Meadows would be so proud. As I drove up on the work sites on I-79 where they're doing some bridge work up here, perfect zipper merge going into the single lane to cross the bridge, and then we dispersed on the other side. Perfectly done by all involved, at least around me yesterday. Just want to let you know.
That's good to hear, Dave. I think people are watching the YouTube video that DOT posted several months ago about how to probably after TG and I had this exact conversation last fall, DOT did a video on how to properly do it, and maybe a few people have watched them, and it does make traffic flow smoother. And I know there are lots of bridges under construction on Interstate 79 and Interstate 68 between here and Charleston, so that's good to hear.
All right, so let's just double down. This is me, not you, so I'll take the rap for it. Definitely zipper merge. It is not only the most efficient, it's also the safest, quite frankly, in my opinion. The other deal, do not be the guy that drives in the emergency lane, right? Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Somebody that has an honest-to-goodness emergency is going to have to get through at some point, and you're inevitably going to cause problems. And also, don't be the guy that thinks you have to police everybody and, keep people from doing that.
Yeah, I just saw that today. Somebody got in the left lane at 55 miles an hour when the speed change didn't change for another 2.5 miles, and he was in the left lane going 55. Everyone else in the right lane was going by him at 70 because he was trying to make a point, and something like that causes accidents.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you why the zipper merge worked yesterday, TJ.
Go for it, buddy.
No Ohio license plates. That's why the zipper merge worked perfectly yesterday.
Well, the Buckeye Army likes to come down here during summer, and they bring their Humvees, and they drive 50. So.
Yeah, they're Humvees with no inspections on them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they pay much higher gas taxes than we do over in the Buckeye State.
Jason, we appreciate you stopping by. Jason has an op-ed available if you'd like to read it regarding the proposal to suspend the state sales tax on gasoline sales. Jason, we always appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by.
Dave, thanks for having me.
Jeff Jenkins joins us next. We'll get caught up on a busy day in the newsroom. Back in a moment.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
Looking to advance your career without putting life on hold? Earn your MBA from Glenville State University in as little as 18 months. Choose from in-demand concentrations like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and healthcare administration. Whether you're leading teams, analyzing data, or protecting digital systems, our programs are designed for working professionals who want flexibility and results. Take the next step with an MBA from Glenville State University. Learn more and apply today at glenville.edu.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Patients who have allergies and sinusitis, they have worse quality of life on many levels. At the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center, we provide all the most recent technology in office procedures to help patients who cannot breathe through their nose. Patients come in, within half an hour they can leave. Whatever problem with the sinus and allergy you're having, we can help you get the right treatment.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
All the sports West Virginia is talking about.
Nikki Izzo-Brown, coach of the nationally ranked WVU women's soccer team.
I think they're just having a very good understanding of each other.
Join Kyle Wiggs, Brett Howe, and Coach Hunter weeknights for Sportsline on Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Busy day in the MetroNews newsroom. We're following up on several stories this morning. Let's bring Jeff Jenkins into the conversation. Jeff, good morning. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's start with a tragedy in Kanawha County. Nitro Police investigating a deadly shooting. What's the latest?
Yeah, so this happened on Monday in the 9 o'clock hour in the Walmart parking lot at the Nitro Marketplace, just off the Cross Lanes exit of Interstate 64. There's a big shopping area just up the hill there near the casino. And a woman who was working, Misty Williams, 40 years old, from Dunbar, went on break. Around 9 o'clock, went to her vehicle. Some video surveillance would later show a man that police have identified as Eric Richmond, 54 years old, had been in and out of the store a couple of times. They kind of the way deputies described it to me was they had kind of an on and off relationship. They had some children together. So she went on her break and she didn't come back. It was like a 20-minute break. Her coworker was concerned. It's been over an hour. And so they go out. They find her car. Her car is kind of crooked in the parking space. And they find her inside, slumped over in the front seat of the vehicle. And she has a single gunshot wound to the chest and claimed her life. The deputies and the Nitro Police were quickly on the scene. As you can imagine, guys, a lot of surveillance video there. The criminal complaint says that Richmond is seen inside the Walmart, coming out of the Walmart, getting in the car with Williams, getting out of the car with Williams, getting in the driver's side, getting in the passenger side. So several things. And then at one point, the car moves forward, hits a parked car. So I'm not sure exactly what's happening there. I mean, did she try to get away? Who knows? What as of right now, it's part of the investigation. But so they were able to quickly put it together. This Eric Richmond, is known to police, and so they were pretty quickly established him as a person of interest and interviewed him, brought him in, and then charged him with first-degree murder. So he is in jail without bail, and just a tragic obviously some type of domestic situation in that case as the investigation continues.
Very sad story. Meanwhile, in the northern part of the state, we hear that green power buses cannot be used.
Yeah, this is an interesting story. I think Mike Knowlton, good job on this story, is green power, which is came in a big splash, right? Mm-hmm. A couple of years ago with a production facility in South Charleston to make these electric battery-powered school buses and with some mix of state money and some federal money that was in there. And there were some counties that got electric buses in another kind of federal program that weren't green power buses. But there were other counties that purchased green power buses, Montague County, Kanawha County, some of those. And we've done numerous stories about them being tested. And then actually Brad McElhinny's done some stories about the company's problems, financial problems, too. But this latest development is that the buses that Montague County have been sidelined after a federal inspection. And so there were some issues there. Let's play the soundbite from Eddie Campbell, the Montague County School Superintendent.
Our entire fleet of electric buses had been out of commission due to mechanical issues that we were not able to get rectified through Green Power, who was the manufacturer of those buses out of South Charleston.
And he talks about the inspection from the U.S. Department of Transportation.
At the conclusion of their investigation and their examination of our buses, they basically told us that those buses needed to remain off the road. They could not be used.
Here are the problems right here.
Some of the things that I know we were dealing with were brake systems that were overheating, and there were certain seating issues on the inside of the bus.
Okay, so that's just a couple of, Mike's got more of the story, and we understand we're trying to get more of this confirmed about Kanawha County had the same type of inspection and the same type of results. So you can read about that. And at the same time, news about Green Power, possibly opening up a manufacturing facility in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. We haven't heard from Green Power. They've talked to us before on and off about things that have been said about them and so different. So we're hoping maybe to hear from them, but pretty interesting development there.
Two things, Jeff. One, I can't remember what his title was. Mark Nesslin was heading up Green Power. We were able to speak with him. I know Mike had him on WAJR Morgantown multiple times. He's no longer with the company, number one. Number two, with those buses came a significant investment from Montague County Schools as well. You had to install the charging stations. That was somewhere in the neighborhood of $390,000 to install those, not to mention they paid for the buses. I mean, they weren't given to Montague County.
Right.
That's a major investment, sitting up in a bus garage doing absolutely nothing for you right at the moment. There's certainly some frustration here regarding the whole situation.
And then let me jump to one other thing here. Putnam County Commission meeting this morning, and this is their first meeting since the Google data center was announced that Google had purchased property right near Buffalo. So it's the first time that some residents, if you wanted just to come talk to the county commission about it and express concern or support, but there were a number of people who appeared to express concern, including this gentleman.
So there's a lot of questions before this data center gets started that's not answered. And the question is, how can we stop it? How can we slow it down?
All right. So there were just a sampling. Went on for like an hour during the public portion meeting of the county commissioners. We'll have a story coming up on that at the website.
Jeff Jenkins, I did not undersell. It is a busy day in the newsroom. Jeff, always appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, buddy.
See you guys.
Coming up, 304 Talk 304. We'll try to get a text or two in before we break for the top of the hour. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Some relationships just work better with trust, reliability, and great communication. That's why more West Virginians are choosing CityNet Gig Fiber. Fast, symmetrical speeds, no contracts, no data caps, and local teams monitoring the network around the clock. Plus, for a limited time, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state. and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Patients who have allergies and sinusitis, they have worse quality of life on many levels. At the WV Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center, we provide all the most recent technology in office procedures to help patients who cannot breathe through their nose. Patients come in, within half an hour they can leave. Whatever problem with the sinus and allergy you're having, we can help you get the right treatment.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I lied to you. We're not going to be able to get to text. We're plumb out of time for hour number one. We'll talk to retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Michael Smith coming up 6 minutes from now. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, no excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Still timing and placing multiple rounds of some showers and thunderstorms that could impact the state. Generally, the northern half of West Virginia, we have a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. That means isolated, and in this case, damaging winds. So isolated damaging winds will be possible with any passing storms today. A couple of potential rounds. There's a slight chance of a shower and storm late in the morning near midday and one later in the afternoon through the evening hours coming in from the west. Potentially, I'll be keeping eyes on the radar if they pop and work east. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Many of these cities here are warmer than average. Some areas flirting with some record high temperatures here. From Panhandle to Panhandle, again, northern West Virginia, be mindful of that chance of showers and storms, isolated severe weather, and warm with increasing humidity. Highs in the low to mid 80s today and lows in the mid to upper 60s overnight tonight. We're approaching some records here through the week with potentially some areas tying or breaking some record highs and warm lows. Highs range from 77 to 86 in our eastern areas with that isolated risk of severe thunderstorms. Very warm tonight, mid 60s for lows. In areas of central West Virginia here, low to mid 80s today. Very warm, humid, and lows tonight in the 60s with that chance of a shower or thunderstorm. And to the south, a lesser chance, but I'll watch a slight chance of showers and storms as we heat up above average as well. Highs in the 70s to mid 80s and lows in the mid 50s to mid 60s tonight. Charleston looking ahead for the next 7 days. 90 tomorrow, dry. Forecasting a daily record high tomorrow. Chance of showers and storms late Thursday night, tying a record high potentially on Saturday near 90. Then a sweeping cold front by Saturday night. Showers, storms, highs in the 60s for Sunday and again on Monday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of Metro News Talkline. Dave Wilson in Morgantown. TJ Meadows is in Charleston. We're both in the Encova Insurance Studios. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. We'll check in with Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern coming up in just a little bit from the White House. The latest on the war in Iran. We'll get details with Jared. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk to Rio Phillips. He is one of the Democrats seeking the party's nomination for the U.S. Senate. He will visit us at 11:33 this morning. And I'm not going to make any promises because I don't want to break them. But we'll try to get in some text and comments as well. 304-TALK, 304, before we clear the way at the top of the hour. Once again, say good morning. TJ Meadows is in our Charleston Encova Insurance Studios. Morning, TJ.
I love you. You know that. I feel like you jinx us when you mention the text line. We're going to get to it, and inevitably something happens.
That's why I said no promises. We will attempt to get to the text line before the top of the hour. Yesterday, about this time, about 25 hours ago, the American military forces began blockading all traffic attempting to enter and leave Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz, setting up a potential game of cat and mouse with Shadow Fleet tankers that ship sanctioned Iranian oil from the Islamic Republic terminals. Joining us for more on how this all works is Michael Smith, retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral and president of the National Security Leaders for America. He joins us on Metro News Talkline this morning. Michael, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
For having me back.
Absolutely. So kind of give us, for us, everyday regular folks who aren't familiar with military strategy, kind of give us an idea. How is the U.S. Navy going about blockading ships in the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, what they're probably going to be doing is they'll do the approaches on either side of the strait. There's absolutely no reason to have to go into the strait itself. So in all likelihood, they'll wait for the ships to come out of the strait, and then they will go and do a boarding on those ships. And they'll monitor the ports that are out, the Iranian ports that are outside the straits as well. So the Navy has a lot of experience at, boarding ships, monitoring them. They had a very successful, blockade of the arms going from Iran to the Houthis during that conflict. So they know how to do it. It's just a very intensive operation.
The question I keep coming back to is, you talked about boarding the ships. What does the Navy do if a ship doesn't want to stop, doesn't want to be boarded? I mean, is command and control in the field? Do you need to ring a superior? I know that's not the official term, to get permission. I mean, how do you handle those sticky situations?
It's really all of the above. So the ship itself is trained on how to do the boarding. There'll be a checklist on what you do based on their actions. If it's a consensual boarding, then you just send a rib, a small motorboat up against the ship, and you board it. If they refuse to do that, then there's escalatory steps you can take, up to and including, sending a helicopter with SEALs or special forces that then fast rope down onto the vessel itself, and then they go up and they take control of the vessel. So there's a well-known progress of what you do if a vessel is unwilling to stop, up to and including, in certain cases, you could actually disable the rudder or its mechanism to continue on. You certainly don't want to do that if you don't have to.
Michael Smith is joining us, retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral. How has Iran been able to keep control of the Strait of Hormuz, given the military defeats it has suffered so far in this campaign?
Well, the reporting is that what they did in the very beginning, using small boats at night, is they dumped mines into the strait in violation of all sorts of known ways to mine. You're supposed to know exactly where you put the mines so you can go back and get them. The biggest problem is, and the challenge of why when the president says open it now, they can't, is it appears they just dump them out there. They have no idea where they are. And these are mines that are range in sophistication from they're just sitting on the bottom to moored to the bottom, but will sense how large that vessel is above it, and will only go off when it's a tanker-sized vessel. So they don't really control it from the perspective of, okay, they will have ships out there, but just the fact that there are mines that no one knows where they are, make it enough that insurance companies aren't going to insure the tankers. The tankers don't want to go there. And what Iran then does is says, okay, we've mined the international straits. If you want to come through, you can come right next to our coast on this area we know is not mined. And then, oh, by the way, we're going to tax you, and you're going to spend us $2 million. And of course, because they're right next to the coast, now they're able to attack those tankers if they wanted to, because they've got their coves, their coastline allows them to hide small boats, and and because of the mountainous regions, they can have anti-ship missiles that are hidden that we can't necessarily quickly get to.
So does that mean we should undertake a clearing operation on the opposite coast and do the same thing? Open our portal, and ships can transit that side and not have to transit the clear Iran side with the tolls. Can we do that? Do we have the technology to do that?
It isn't so much clearing another area. It's just there's only the strait is so narrow. There's only a part of it which is deep enough for these large tankers to go through. But yes, we need to now come in and we need to clear that area. But that is a huge undertaking. Unfortunately, the Navy decommissioned the 4 Avenger-class minesweepers that were in the Gulf just months before the war started. So we have no minesweepers there. Now there's 4 that are in Japan, and reportedly 2 of them we're seeing going through the strait. So it looks like they are going to bring back some minesweepers, but it's going to take a long time to be able to clear a strait. Now, 2 destroyers were reportedly just went through there, so they at least know a track that did not result in a mine going off. But again, is that because they weren't big enough? We don't know, but it's going to be a long task to try and clear the straits if, in fact, the Iranians don't know where they put the mines.
Talking to Michael Smith, retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral. Michael, in addition to the mines, I've been reading about these speedboats, the speedboat attacks. What kind of danger, because it kind of seems counterintuitive that you have this big oil tanker or you have a big warship, and then you have speedboats. What kind of danger do speedboats present to these humongous ships that are trying to go through the strait?
Well, the speedboats represent a huge threat to those tankers because the tankers, when they're in the middle of the channel, cannot move. They have to stay on that straight line because otherwise they'll run aground. It'll be too shallow. So they are just lumbering through while these speedboats come by, and they have man pads. They have the ability to have I've seen when I've gone through the straits on my ships, you see these speedboats come up, and you have some just like you see in the off the beaches. There's a person driving it, and there's somebody sitting right behind. That person behind them could have a small rocket that could then damage the tanker. So going through the straits, they're sitting ducks because they can't maneuver. They don't have that capability to counter that speedboat. You really need to have helicopters with missiles that can take those out.
Talk to me about China's role in this. We see warnings again today from the Chinese that the United States should reconsider the blockade. What, if anything, could a Chinese Navy do here? How could they become involved, if at all?
I think the idea that the Chinese Navy itself would get involved is probably pretty slim. I don't think they want to get themselves into a kinetic situation, but there are certainly other things they can do to try and influence what's happening. It's going to be a challenge when a Chinese flagged vessel now comes through and wants to go through the blockade into an Iranian port. To be legal, which you can if you're in a war, you can have a blockade, which gets to the point of there really is no ceasefire right now because a blockade is an act of war. So, but in any case, it has to be indiscriminate. You have to stop everybody. So a Chinese vessel, a Russian vessel coming through, despite all the political challenges associated with that, we have to stop both of them. So China could make this difficult by sending their flagged vessels in there to make us look bad, which certainly would be to their advantage.
Talking to Michael Smith, retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral. What has to happen to get the strait reopened?
We have to go in and clear a lane that it allows those tankers to come in and out. You want it to be far enough away from Iran that allows you perhaps to have some escorts with you. So some warships could have helicopters that are escorting the tankers if that's what we need to do. But it is going to take weeks to be able to clear the strait if there are these mines out there that no one knows where they are. Because again, there is no capability there. The United States has had a very small capability for minesweeping because, frankly, we've relied on our allies. Obviously, our allies are not part of this. So even though Europe has a vast minesweeping capability, and so too does Japan, those are not available to us. So we have to, again, sail these small boats from Japan all the way around to the Gulf to be able to start this minesweeping. There's 3 littoral combat ships that were in the Gulf. They've left. So reportedly they're in Southeast Asia, but I imagine they're on their way back too. So we have to bring these ships together. They're not there now. And we need to start this very lengthy process, basically of mapping the floor of the sea to see if there's anything that sticks out that itself could be a mine. And then we need to send down these remote vehicles to destroy that mine. So we know that it's safe to go through there. It takes weeks to do this.
But when we do it, it would seem to me that we have to maintain it. We have to have a presence there, or otherwise, what's to stop the Iranians from doing it again? Am I right in my thinking?
Right. This just has to be part of the negotiations the president's doing right now. They have to come to some sort of agreement that they won't do this again. At the beginning of the war, it's reported they had over 5,000 mines. So you're right. If this is the best of circumstances, where Iran now agrees not to get involved, you have some sort of continuing ceasefire that will where they will allow us to clear the mines. But if the ceasefire fails, there's nothing to stop them from trying to do that again and send these small fishing boats out there. How would a helicopter know to attack that fishing boat versus the other when perhaps that fishing boat has a mine on it? In the middle of the night, they just dump over. So this is very complex, very basic. It's just a mine in the water, but where is that mine? And even if we all agree to stop fighting, we've got to clear the straits.
He is Michael Smith. He's retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral and president of the National Security Leaders for America. Michael, thank you so much for the insights today. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me back. Have a great day.
You as well. We'll get the latest from Washington, D.C. Check in with Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern in just a moment. Well, there it is. Cruise into spring with West Virginia Lottery's 40th anniversary celebration. There are 40 ways to win 4K and 4 cruise packages up for grabs. Play in-store and online and enter for your chance to win cash or a cruise. Details at WVLottery.com. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly.
I'm Tom Willis, running against Charlie Moore Capito for U.S. Senate. Sarah and I love raising our kids here in West Virginia. You're the best people in the world, and it has been my honor to serve West Virginia for 26 years in the West Virginia National Guard, including flood duties all over our great state, and now in the state Senate. Shelley has abandoned our West Virginia traditional Christian family values, is ranked as one of the top insider traders in the U.S. Senate, and instead of negotiating for West Virginia families, got her son appointed as DA. I'm Tom Willis, and I approve this message because it's time for a change, West Virginia.
Paid for by Tom Willis Victory.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Stay connected to what's happening today in West Virginia.
What about, this and what about that? And it just went back and forth. And I was just the guy reading the text. Okay. So what's your take on the whole thing?
Well, now you just get me fired up. Now
right.
you just
So I'm gonna turn on. I'm gonna run down to Wendy's and grab a burger, and I'll be back.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Let's go to Washington, D.C. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. Jared, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Is there a possibility we could have more peace talks between the U.S. and Iran?
It certainly is. It's something that Pakistan would like to see happen. Remember, this the ceasefire that is in place expires at the end of next week. So there is reporting that U.S. and Iranian teams could return to Islamabad. Right now, those talks are under discussion, but nothing has been scheduled yet.
Talk to us about the Saudis. They're pressuring us to end the blockade, no?
I think everybody would like to see this blockade end and the Strait of Hormuz reopen. It's having a huge impact on energy prices around the world. You're seeing that bear out. The gas pump here. Both the U.S. and Iran are kind of playing the economic hands that they can. The U.S. wants Iran to reopen the strait, wants Iran to agree to these demands to end the war. And so this blockade is intended to prevent Iran from sailing any vessels out of their ports. It is a major revenue source to get that oil out of its country, and they are unable to do that. This is going to have a huge impact on the Iranian economy. You are seeing Iran use what leverage it has by shutting down the Strait of Hormuz and threatening oil facilities in other parts of the Gulf. So, obviously regional stability is paramount. But the Saudis have also been big supporters of the U.S. effort here to dismantle the Iranian regime. The Saudis and Iranians have long kind of battled for supremacy in the Middle East, that sort of regional leader. And so President Trump has had a really good relationship with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who has been supportive of these U.S. actions.
Talking to Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. Jared, back home, the president causing a stir with his social media post. Yesterday, he claimed that the meme that has taken off was him dressed up as a doctor. What's been the reaction in D.C. to the social media stir over the last 48 hours or so?
Well, a lot of Republicans think it was a distraction, think it was unwise for the president to post this image, that an awful lot of them think that he was portraying himself as Jesus. Now, the president, to your point, said, I was just a doctor. It shows the president in a white robe, a red sash, his hand on the head of a bedridden man with kind of light emanating from his fingers. There's a lot of religious and patriotic imagery in the background. And it comes at a time where the president's also kind of taken public this feud with the Pope. And, a lot of even supporters of the president have cautioned the president against this. The Speaker of the House said that he spoke with the president about that post and believes that the president did the right thing by taking it down.
Taking it down, but just to be clear, Jared, he did not apologize, correct?
He did not. No, he said that, he thought it was him as a doctor, healing people, making people better, which is something he says is done. And he also suggested that only the fake news would construe it any other way.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. Jared, always appreciate the update from the Hill. Thank you, buddy.
Sure thing.
304 Talk 304. That's the text line. I said we'd get to the text line. Let's get a couple in here. Rio Phillips is going to join us here a couple of minutes from now. He is one of the Democrats seeking the U.S. Senate nomination. 304 Talk 304. I just wonder how far our president thought in advance before he started this war, and we now find out they're only trying to delay nuclear enrichment, asks the texter. Gentlemen, I could not care less if you read this message. All right, moving on to the next one. 304 Talk 304. Well, they said it, not me.
Oh, it's terrible. Read the guy's phone.
Well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. President Trump is now saying that the figure in the picture with all the halo light was a doctor, not Jesus. Eye appointment needed, asks the texter. You could come up.
Does he think we're stupid?
Well, maybe, possibly. He could do better than that if he was going to make up an excuse. I was a doctor.
I mean, my general practitioner always walks around in a robe with a red sash and has light coming out of his and puts his hand on my forehead. I wrote about it today. I'm done with him. You know what? Apologize, own it. Didn't even do that. Done with it.
Coming up, we're going to talk to Rio Phillips, one of the Democrats seeking the party's nomination for the race for U.S. Senate. He will join us momentarily. More of your text, I promise, coming up before the top of the hour. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's check in with the Metro News Radio Network, find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, no excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Still timing and placing multiple rounds of some showers and thunderstorms that could impact the state. Generally, the northern half of West Virginia, we have a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. That means isolated, and in this case, damaging winds. So isolated damaging winds will be possible with any passing storms today. A couple of potential rounds. There's a slight chance of a shower and storm late in the morning near midday and one later in the afternoon through the evening hours coming in from the west. Potentially, I'll be keeping eyes on the radar if they pop and work east. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Many of these cities here are warmer than average. Some areas flirting with some record high temperatures here. From Panhandle to Panhandle, again, northern West Virginia, be mindful of that chance of showers and storms, isolated severe weather, and warm with increasing humidity. Highs in the low to mid 80s today and lows in the mid to upper 60s overnight tonight. We're approaching some records here through the week with potentially some areas tying or breaking some record highs and warm lows. Highs range from 77 to 86 in our eastern areas with that isolated risk of severe thunderstorms. Very warm tonight, mid 60s for lows. In areas of central West Virginia here, low to mid 80s today. Very warm, humid, and lows tonight in the 60s with that chance of a shower or thunderstorm. And to the south, a lesser chance, but I'll watch a slight chance of showers and storms as we heat up above average as well. Highs in the 70s to mid 80s and lows in the mid 50s to mid 60s tonight. Charleston looking ahead for the next 7 days. 90 tomorrow, dry. Forecasting a daily record high tomorrow. Chance of showers and storms late Thursday night, tying a record high potentially on Saturday near 90. Then a sweeping cold front by Saturday night. Showers, storms, highs in the 60s for Sunday and again on Monday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
When you choose CityNet, you are choosing a 100% West Virginia-owned internet provider with local support, no call centers, no runaround, just fast, dependable fiber internet backed by people who live and work right here. Plus, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a year. Visit citynet.net today. We will get to a couple of texts, 304-TALK-304 before the top of the hour, 800-765-TALK. That's the phone number as well. Joining us now is Rio Phillips, a 2026 U.S. Senate candidate running as a progressive working-class Democrat. He is one of the Democrats seeking the party's nomination for the U.S. Senate. He joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Rio, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, TJ. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely appreciate you coming on. So, Rio, why are you seeking the Democrat Party's nomination for U.S. Senate?
Oh, so many reasons. West Virginia is just hurting. You know, we are 47th in the nation in economy, 47th in education, 50th in infrastructure. And, you know, Shelley No More Capito's been up there for, 25 years now? You know, she's become a career politician, and it takes the working class to stand up to her, and that's what we're doing. So there's a lot more to it, but that's a start.
Hi, Rio. This is TJ here. What do you want to do then? Give me specifics. What do you want to change to make it better?
Well, you know, let's start with the water, right? There's too many places that are absolutely poisoned, and there's not enough care and attention being given to these situations. And if we were to just speak about the water alone, it needs more visibility. It needs more care, more attention from elected representatives. And definitively, Shelley Capito, she gives the water almost no attention whatsoever. So that's just a starting point. You know, whether it's medical care, and obviously we believe more people should have access and, you know, not have to go into catastrophic debt for it. So, you know, we stand for Medicare for all. We stand for clean water for all West Virginians. Core central issues that we know will benefit the lives of countless thousands of West Virginians.
Rio Phillips is joining us, one of the Democrats seeking the party's nomination for U.S. Senate. How can you make Medicare for all a reality?
Well, it's a budgeting issue, isn't it? You know, let's look at what we've been spending our money on. For instance, just in September alone, Pete Hegseth blew through $93 billion in 1 month just to make sure that they met their budget for the next year, right? Because if you don't spend it, then you don't get it, and that's how it works. So he blew through $93 billion just in September alone, and then went ahead and asked for $200 billion to wage his war in Iran. I'm saying that these are not the budget points that serve West Virginia ultimately, and that when you make Americans healthy, you actually make America great. And when you educate Americans, you make America great. And that's not something the current administration is invested in, and that's something I will invest in.
Do you advocate for tax increases to make your plans a reality?
Not on the working class. You know, I'm looking at standing with Bernie Sanders when it comes to progressive tax plans on the wealthy, but absolutely not on the working class. They're already overtaxed. I'm also looking at bringing in, you know, industries, hemp industries, and other industries that I think are critical to the future of West Virginia and providing thousands of jobs and bringing us into the 21st century and things like that. So the last thing I want to do is tax the working class. It's about progressive tax policies. And honestly, these quote unquote progressive tax policies are really just pre-Reagan era, pre-trickle down. And, you know, we're looking to make sure that the wealthy pay their fair share. And currently they're getting away with bloody murder.
Talking to Rio Phillips, he's one of the Democrats seeking the party's nomination for U.S. Senate. What is the You Help program?
Oh, great question, my friend. That is the Unhoused Empowered Living program. We are building that. It's, I wish it wasn't in the concept phase, but it is. It really came out on this trail. What does that mean? What is Unhoused Empowered Living program? Well, first off, there's 15,000 homeless West Virginia children just wandering these mountains, unbelievable numbers. And then on top of it, you got the veteran homeless situation, which, you know, contributes to veteran suicide at 22 a day, which I want to eradicate that number. I want to bring 22 down to 0. You Help is the program to do it. So we would basically purchase up like old Kmart's, abandoned, forgotten properties, renovate them, bring in, really small, tiny home neighbor, like little villages into this space, provide security, provide counseling, and provide all kinds of, necessary resources to these individuals, especially career counseling, mental health stuff, drug counseling, of course. And then the whole concept is no West Virginian left behind. We got too many people out here just slipping through the cracks, and we don't agree with that. We want to turn it around. So that's what UHelp is.
Is that a federal issue, which would be under your span of control if elected to the U.S. Senate, or is that better left to the state of West Virginia?
I would say both. I'd be pushing for it at both levels, of course, but anything's better than what they just did, which is this public camping ban that doesn't actually address the issue of poverty, doesn't address the issue of lack of services or lack of shelter. So, that's where I take this stand, and I've developed this concept because I believe there's a huge shortfall in the services that are being provided, and I want to provide far more services and really not let anybody slip through the cracks. And that might be idealist, an optimist to some folk, but I don't care. These are West Virginians, these are human beings, and it seems critical to me that if we want to make West Virginia great, we don't let these people slip through the cracks.
Talking to Rio Phillips, he's one of the Democrats running for the party's nomination for U.S. Senate. Rio, the federal government programs are not known for being efficient with taxpayer money. They seem to struggle with waste and efficiency. Why should taxpayers support more federal spending and more federal programs?
Well, it's like healthcare, right? We currently have it priced out, and it's so exploitative that people are simply not able to function. You've got, I don't know how many, it's large percentages of the senior population of this state not able to live without that, right? So when you, like, say with the big beautiful bill, for instance, or as I should say, the big brutal bill, cut rural health care and you cut Medicaid and you do these things, well, people suffer and people are suffering. So the question is do we want to keep suffering, or do we want to keep America healthy? And we're not healthy. So we're being priced out, we're being exploited, and we're not able to afford where it's taking us. So countless people go into debt. People are just absolutely suffering. And then of course hyperinflation is driving while that's happening. And so you can't buy as much with what few dollars you can get your hands on. And then you've got your minimum wage isn't matching the rate of that inflation, and on and on and on. This is a compounding emergency. So my goal is to bring in the resources, but scale back the expenditures that are too much. Like when we talk about waste, fraud, and abuse, I talk about $93 billion blown in a month by Mr. Hegseth. I talk about how we shouldn't be spending $200 billion in Iran because we were promised no more forever wars. So, we could really go into it.
I take it you believe the war in Iran is unjust. Is that fair?
Well, you can't call it a war because in America, we require congressional approval for that. So I would call it an illegal military action because it's already gone past any sort of terminal deadline. So yeah, we're in the realm of illegal military activity, and we have no congressional approval, no war powers resolution, nothing. So he's, you might remember me back from when we had the No Kings interview, but he is acting like a king, and you cannot declare wars autonomously as the President of the United States.
Talking to Rio Phillips, he is one of the Democrats running for U.S. Senate. What did you mean in a social media post you put on Facebook that said, "I think it's about time we start referring to Benjamin Netanyahu as a death cult leader"?
Well, you got, let's see, just in Gaza alone from October 7th to now, varying projections of how many people are dead. But you're looking at anywhere from 500,000 to 50,000, depending on what calculation, how you calculate it. Mass starvation, of course, targeting of innocent civilians, now happening in Lebanon as well. He is a wanted war criminal at the International Criminal Court. I encourage people to go look up his arrest warrant. He's not welcome in 150, 160 nations around the world, and neither is Vladimir Putin. And these are the two main allies of the President of the United States, and they both have arrest warrants and aren't welcome pretty much anywhere in the world. And I will not be shaking hands with Mr. Netanyahu or accepting money from AIPAC. So I'm actually America First, Mrs. Capito. She is actually taking hundreds of thousands from the Israeli lobby, and she does more work on behalf of them than she does West Virginia.
So, Rio, I get the narrative. You want to run against Shelley Capito, but the reality is you've got challengers in this Democratic primary: Thornton Cooper,
Sure.
Rachel Fetty Anderson, Jeff Kessler, Zach Shrewsbury. So tell voters why it should be you and not one of those other Democratic individuals in this primary.
Sure. It's a strong pack, too. The bench filled up, didn't it? Well, I'll tell you, I think I'll just go down the line. Zach rolled himself out with a major scandal, back in August that should have been investigated by the Democratic Party. It wasn't. So, it just boiled and festered, and he never really was held accountable for his sexual harassment scandal. So we don't think he's viable. I don't have any credible allegations against me, and I never have, ever. So there's that. Then we could talk about Jeff Kessler. He is over the age of 70. He has not been active in West Virginia politics in over 10 years. Of course, he has some great experience long ago, but, he lost 2 governor races, and he's out of touch with the kids and the youth. So, that would be my position on Jeff. And again, Jeff is a great guy. I have no real objection to him as a person. He's honestly wonderful in person. Rachel, another great leader. She would do a great job. All these people would do a great job, I think, with the exception of Zach Shrewsbury personally. But Rachel, again, she would need to really pick up momentum and do a lot more in order to be viable, and that's just my opinion there. But she's got a lot of great positions. And then Thornton, again, another great guy with a lot of great positions, but he would need to do a lot more and pick up a lot more speed to be viable as well. So that would be how I would respond to that question.
Rio Phillips, one of the 5 Democrats seeking the party's nomination to run for U.S. Senate in November's general election. Just a reminder, the May primary is May 12th. Early voting starts April 29th, and April 21st, 1 week from today, is the deadline to register or update your voter registration status. Rio, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. And everybody out there listening, just check out Rio for Senate. That's FOR, not the number.com. And I would love to hear from you. You can reach out to me anytime.
Rio Phillips, one of the 5 Democrats seeking the party's nomination for U.S. Senate. May not feel like it right now. Actually, it kind of does feel like it this week. Temperatures are getting warm, and it's starting to feel like boat weather. But now's the time to get ready, so when the weather breaks, the water warms up, and it's time to get out and enjoy the rivers and lakes that you have your pontoon or fishing boats. So check out the entire inventory at LewWendellMarineSales.com. Great deals on pontoon and fishing boats. Check out the inventory, LewWendellMarineSales.com. Lew Wendell Marine Sales, we sell family fun. I promised I would get to some text. Actually, I didn't promise it. I kind of hoped we would get there. And hope is coming to realization. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That's the phone number. Rest of the show belongs to you. Your comments coming up next. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Some text coming up, 304 Talk 304. If you have a child who is a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone who does, listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline to apply is May 3rd. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. That's WVMetroNews.com. Again, the application deadline is May 3rd. Let's see. 304 Talk 304. Texter says, Google had a meeting with the Tucker County Grand Council about data centers. At the meeting, Google said their data centers emit the smell of pepperoni rolls. Tucker County was all on board until someone asked if it smelled like stick or slice pepperoni. Google reps said, sliced pepperoni? And here we are with Tucker County vehemently opposed to data centers, says the texter. We'll have to double source that report. But good reporting there, texter. 304 Talk 304. Does Trump think his base is stupid? I think if you don't know the answer to that question, you are part of his base. 304 Talk 304. You know, I love when a politician uses, you know, says the texter. Programs, handouts, and who's paying for all of that? 304 Talk 304. Trump had to be a doctor because I did not see lightning bolts coming out of his backside, says the texter. I'd like to point out that he is not a doctor either, says the texter. Fair point. I just wonder how far our president... Oh, I already read that one, didn't we? 304 Talk 304. I'll get back. Where's that one text? I've lost it. I'll come back to it. 304 Talk 304. Electric school buses equal a big waste of money. Electric bus issue. A Jim Justice push before a study done to establish if West Virginia roads would work for electric buses. He makes poor judgment calls, according to the texter. This always happens with green energy products. They come up with a bang, and then a year or two later, they're filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy or something of that nature.
It's not necessarily the technology. There are plenty of electric buses on the road that are made by other companies that work perfectly. I don't think you can blame the technology.
They tested well. The buses tested well in Montague County. They had them before they rolled off the production line in South Charleston. They tested well. Drivers liked them. But if you can't support your product after you have sold it, you have a problem. And that's the problem. Now they're sitting at a bus garage doing, just big, gigantic paperweights.
I would hope the charging technology that we bought or that the counties bought is agnostic, meaning it can be used with any kind of bus. Some of these companies have proprietary chargers for their own buses. That would be the real shame.
My apologies to the texter. Here's a little bit of advice. Don't start off with, I could not care less if you read my message, because the texter went on to say that my son is career military, which has not answered my text in the past several days. Worried as hell, but you think it's a joke. Remember the text to your show, and you replied, I'm not going to read it. Sorry, you didn't have to say that. Just something off my chest. Sorry for saying anything. Well, don't start your text with, I could care less if you read it. 304 Talk 304. That's the text line. 800-765-TALKS, the phone number. Cruise into spring with West Virginia Lottery's 40th anniversary celebration. There are 40 ways to win 4K and 4 cruise packages up for grabs. Play in-store and online and enter for your chance to win cash or a cruise. Details at WVLottery.com. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. We'll wrap it up next.
Have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. That's WVMetroNews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play responsibly.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Patients who have allergies and sinusitis, they have worse quality of life on many levels. At the WV Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center, we provide all the most recent technology in office procedures to help patients who cannot breathe through their nose. Patients come in, within half an hour they can leave. Whatever problem with the sinus and allergy you're having, we can help you get the right treatment.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.